welcome everybody. Welcome to the channel. Homes, the Villages is your information hub for everything that's in regards to renters and landlords, investors, or purchasing homes in the Villages. My name is David Anderson. I am a homeowner in the Villages and a real estate investor. And my co-host and good friend Al Schusterman is here today. And Al is a renter in the Villages. Say hi to everyone, Al.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the channel.
We also have a very special guest today. We've got Linda Pleiman with me, and Linda is the author of the Landlord Guidebook and Guest Manual. So Linda, welcome to the channel, and we're really happy to have you here. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, my name's Linda Pleiman. I purchased my 3-bedroom, 2-bath patio villa in Monarch Grove in 2019. Off and on since the mid-'80s, I've owned rental properties in both Delaware and Maryland. I moved to Florida about 6 years ago to the New Smyrna Beach area. Went with my sister to look at houses she was looking to purchase in the Villages. And on my next visit, I went out one day with a realtor and I signed a contract. And
wow.
I just knew this was it. This is just a fabulous opportunity. A, because I could rent out the property and make a little bit of money. And B, because I only lived 2 hours away, we could take trips whenever we wanted in between rentals to go over there and stay and play for however long we wanted. So it's been a really fun journey.
So you've had it since 2019.
Yeah.
How often do you use the property?
Well, I like to get there at least every other month. During the winter months, a lot of landlords tend to only rent January through March. I usually will do just 4 weeks or 3 weeks in January so I can get over there. And then I'll rent it for February and March. And that's the longest period because I'm honestly jonesing. After 2 months of not being there, I'm ready to be back there.
Well, I think that's about 4 hours for Al and I.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Is that right?
As soon as we get back home, we're thinking, oh boy,
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. It's just a tremendous experience.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So Al, as a renter, what have you noticed from your perspective on like the homes that you've gone into? Mm-hmm. And you get into that house and some of them you may find different than others. What's your perspective on that?
So first of all, one of the things that I look for is, at least when I first came to the Villages, you have no idea what's available there. So what was important to me were some people left manuals, some people left information on the amenities, where things were. That was really helpful. Some of the places were well furnished, some weren't. So if you're a renter and you come into a place and you're missing all sorts of items, it takes away from the experience. So any of the rentals that were well stocked, had the right set of utensils, everything I needed, those were the better rentals. Those were the ones that I was going to come back to. So that was really important to me. You know.
So that, I guess the conversation we're having today is about the Landlord Guidebook and Guest mm-hmm. Manual that Lynn, you created. And you must have noticed that there was a gap in the marketplace, otherwise you wouldn't have done that. So explain the process as to what made you decide that this was something that was necessary for landlords in the Villages.
Well, I knew it just made sense to me that I had to have a guidebook for my renters that told them beforehand what to find in the house, so that people mm-hmm. like Al would not be surprised to find that there's not this crock pot that I was really hoping to get, or a mixer or whatever. So I give people, and my house is incredibly well stocked with good quality items. And so I made the guest manual for my renters. And then in 2020, COVID hit. And I said, well, this is a good time. I'm housebound now. Good time to just kind of revamp it. And I put lots of time and effort into making it even more inclusive. And as I was finishing that and really enjoying it, I was like, when I was a new landlord in the Villages, I felt like I was totally on my own. And I know that other landlords are probably feeling the same way. So I did a lot of research looking to see were there any books, manuals, websites, Facebook pages for people like myself. And I found nothing. So first I created a Facebook page for landlords, which was well received. I think we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,600 village landlords on that
So
page right
be
now.
proud of that. What's the Facebook page?
It's Landlords of the Villages. And it's just a space for landlords to get together and talk and network and get ideas from each other. I've had it over 3 years, I think, and I'm still picking up tips. So it's been an incredible source for myself and for those that are less experienced. And from there, I decided, well, we're still homebound. Maybe I'll put together some of the information I've gathered in my research and make a guide for landlords. And that kind of morphed into this project that's a 3-part project that includes the portion for landlords, a portion for the renters, and the renters portion also includes part 3, which is a guide to what to do when you're in the villages, and around the villages, and even where to go for great day trips while you're visiting. So
before we got on the call, Al and I were talking, and one of the things he said to me that was quite humorous was that when he stayed at my house, there was a binder on the kitchen table that was full of all this information, and he actually thought I was just a smart guy.
Yeah, I did.
But what the reality was, I was just
so?
using your manual, right?
yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
You are a very smart guy, David.
There you go.
So the other thing that I think that's important to mention is that within your package, the landlord guide and guest manual, there's also a template for a lease. And one of the things I see on all of the Facebook groups over and over again is, does anyone have a lease that they can use? So talk to us about that and where you came up with that idea.
Well, every landlord knows, I hope they know, that they have to have a lease. They have to put in writing what they and their renter have agreed to and outline some of the rules and what they need to know. What time can I get into the house? When do I have to be out? What are my expectations for when I check out, etc. So that all needs to be spelled out in a lease. I got fabulous pieces of information from all different sources when I was creating my lease. And when I was done and happy with it, I sent it to an attorney here in Florida to approve it, make sure everything was as it should be. It was. And so that is in the manual. It's customizable, so landlords can put in their dates, their check-in time, their checkout time, what the security deposit is, and whatever else needs to be customized for their use.
Yeah, that's so important, because just having that template to work with, it's the start of something, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's there. You can fill in your date, your information, whatever it might be. So
Exactly.
Al, have you had to sign any leases at all when you've rented?
No, I haven't, but I would say I would prefer to have a lease. The reason being that I want to know what my obligations are. I don't want any gray areas. I want to know if there's a damage deposit. I want to know what the rules are around pets. So I think that brings clarity to the whole situation and makes it a little bit more business-like, where everybody knows what they have to do, and just makes for a better stay. That's what it is. So yeah, I prefer to sign one, I would think.
So one of the things that we wanted to talk today about was preparedness from a landlord's perspective. And I think that having that manual and that guidebook available to them really gives them an advantage from someone who doesn't have that information. So you and I talked that you're in the process of updating putting in some new content and getting that done. When do you think you'll have the updates done? And if someone wanted to get the guest manual now, what would be the process?
I'm hoping to be done with the manual in 2 to 3 months. That's not a guarantee, it's my goal. And to order the manual, anyone can go to the website, which is www.guide4villages.com. And there's information there about what is included in the manual and a form where they can order. And the fee is $89.99.
And if they bought the manual now because they wanted to use what was available, when the revamp is done, there will probably just be a small upcharge to get the new content.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Anyone who's purchased a manual at any point is able to get the update for a small charge.
Well, that's great. Al, do you have anything else that you want to add at this point?
Not really. I actually went through the manual. I saw the copy you had. I thought it was terrific. From a renter's perspective, I thought it was really good that you had attractions in the area within 60 miles or within, let's say an hour and a half drive, all the different things to do. There's plenty to do in the villages itself. Yes. And that's in your manuals as well. Everything villages, which I thought was terrific. And even some things I didn't know about. So that it was great. I really just enjoyed going through it. I thought it was very concise and well written. So
so give us that, give us that website one more time.
www.guide4villages.com.
That's awesome. So I think we'd really like to say thank you for joining us today. It's pleasure. Awesome that we can get this information out to the people that want that information and need that information. For our viewers, please click the bell below, to subscribe to this channel. You're going to be getting updates on all the new videos that are going to be coming up, new content, and we'd like to get that out to you as soon as we can. So by subscribing, you get notifications. At this point, I'd like to say thank you, Linda. Thank you for everything you've done. Al, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And we'll be back soon.
Bye-bye.
Great. Thanks, Dave. Bye.